It's Saturday, which means it's the half hour of horror. And today, please rise, because it is the 4th of July horror explosion extravaganza. We are celebrating the 4th of July weekend with horror because I'm not feeling very patriotic this year. I can't imagine why, but I'm always patriotic for horror. If there's a genre that I will defend and get passionate about, it's horror. And I get real excited about good old-fashioned classic horror movies. And today, with me as always, oh hey, it's Chase. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. I don't even know why when we did the salute, I did the John Cena. Like, I just start running towards the screen. I take my shirt off, throw it in the crowd, which you don't want to see, because trust me, I don't look as good without a shirt on as good as John Cena. That dude is like shredded to the gills. But
I take my root beer and just smash it against my forehead. Yeah. That's hilarious. Because it's 4th of July weekend, I hope that everybody watching today makes it out of the weekend with all their fingers and toes intact and eyeballs. I had never seen so many fireworks injuries until I moved down to Georgia. Every year when I'm working during the 4th of July, somebody comes back to work with a horrible injury. So just, guys, be smart, light it and run away. Don't light it in your hand. Have a bucket of water nearby. But I'm excited to make things go pew pew. But we're talking about horror movies. We're talking about the horror movies that make us feel patriotic about the genre of horror, especially American horror movies, because USA. Why not? So we're kicking things off with our all-American horror movie, Splosion extravaganza. I'm gonna eat too many hot dogs. Yeah, fireworks. I'm gonna eat too many hot dogs. What is gonna kick us off? What is a movie that when you see it playing on TV, you're like, yes, makes you warm to the heart and cheer for horror?
I'm gonna go with Canadian classic Black. I'm joking, but
that's funny.
I'm gonna go with actually two films. I'm gonna start off with a double feature.
Oh,
very divisive, but Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses and Rob Zombie's follow-up, the even better Devil's Rejects.
Devil's Rejects is high on my list today, so this is a great one. Rob Zombie, all-American musician. He was a rock star for many years, and then he decided still is, man. He's still kicking it. Dracula is a hell of a song. But he has this very like Route 66 nostalgia vibe, retro drive-in thing going, like zombies and Draculas. And I love that. And these movies are a fantastic way to kick this off. I saw House of a Thousand Corpses in college and I was like, all right. I was just okay on it. Devil's Rejects blew me away. I was very impressed with that.
Didn't Pat, I think Pat was told a story on the show one time that y'all got a screener of it in college.
That is exactly how I saw this.
He said, I think like one of your friends was dating like someone who was involved with like one of the associations.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Man, I don't remember this guy's name. But he was a college student who was, he was like, you know what? I'm just gonna sleep my way to the top. And he just would he would go to industry events and hook up with people and then reap the benefits of being young and hot, I guess. Good for him, good for him. If you got it, flaunt it, make it happen. But yeah, he would show up with screeners and he'd go to red carpets and stuff. We're like, dang.
And yeah, because Pat was like, yeah, we got that because wasn't he dating some 80-year-old?
Yeah, that was the thing. Is he had he was hanging out with some older dudes, but whatever. Who am I to judge? But he showed up with this screener of House of a Thousand Corpses well before the movie came out, and we got to see it, and it was crazy. super fun. It's a Texas Chainsaw Massacre ripoff.
Yeah, yeah, and admittedly so, and it wears that on its sleeve. Like, so this was actually filmed. So the film came out in 2003, but it was actually filmed all the way back in 2000. And originally it was going to be distributed by Universal Pictures. But when Rob Zombie finished the film and they watched it, they were like, this is too gruesome. This is like, they're like, we can't release this. And it got in limbo. And eventually, at the time, an upstart company called Lionsgate picked it up. And it became a hit for them. So, yeah, I mean, so first of all, good for Lionsgate. I think probably this was one of their like earlier films when they started doing more wide releases and trying to get into the more mainstream. But yeah, I mean, it follows a group of friends traveling around the back ass roads of America, just looking for random sideshows and stopping points and sideshow and side road attractions in rural America, and they just come across the wrong one.
It's classic, and I mean, incredible performances by Captain Spaulding, Sid Haig. Who Sid Haig is one of those unsung heroes of horror because he was in all these old 50s movies. Spider Baby is one of the weirdest movies I've ever seen in my life, and he plays like a little dog boy in that, where he's just like, and like his mental facilities are gone, and it's terrifying because you're like, you know, people shouldn't act like dogs. That's creepy. Spider Baby's wild. But if you watch the original movie Spider Baby, old black and white movie, Lon Chaney Jr. is kind of an aged out, very, very bloated version of himself. But you watch that, and it is so chaos driven that you're like, that's House of a Thousand Corpses. Like, that is really like where they get their inspiration. Spider Baby's wild. If you guys haven't seen it, not good, but like really, really entertaining for being so weird, and really entertaining for you're watching it and you're like, oh my God, Rob Zombie loves this movie.
Actually, Sid Haig did a lot of Pam Grier movies too.
Yes.
He was in a lot of Pam Grier. And they actually, I read a story, Sid Haig has a cameo role in Quentin Tarantino's Jackie Brown, where Pam Grier is the star. That was like the film that resurrected her career.
Yeah.
He has a cameo as the judge, and apparently, from what I've read, the story was he didn't even tell Pam Grier that Sid Haig was in the movie. Like, that was like when she sees Sid Haig as the judge in that scene, that was like a surprise to her. I think he wanted to catch like her actual reaction.
That's interesting. I need to, it's time to watch. I haven't seen Jackie Brown in a minute, so it's time to watch that again. Since I have it here, I'll bring this up, but yeah, House of a Thousand Corpses is really fun, but Devil's Rejects is so uniquely interesting. It's grindhouse. It's a road movie. It's intense. It's you know, I think that is my peak Rob Zombie. You know, I think it's so unique. It's so interesting. I love it.
And it's controversial because here, you know, the Firefly family are you know, they're serial killers, they're evil people, but it's like one thing he tries to does, it's like he almost like tries to humanize them, like he shows their family element, like you're supposed to hate these people, and then like the audience, like, are you supposed to like them? And then they just do some heinous shit, be like, no, they're terrible.
Oh man, just when you're like, Tutti fucking fruity, I like these people, they like cut a dude's face off and wear it, and you're like, oh god, oh my god. Man, the 10-minute Freebird finale, that gets me. Woo! Freebird, like, when I die, Freebird is the only song that you have to play at my funeral, all 10 minutes of it. If that thing fades out, you failed me. I love Freebird. It's one of my all-time favorite songs. Like, it's gotten me through a ton of times in high school. And like the fact that that movie played all 10 minutes of it while they're getting shot up in a big shootout, pretty amazing. Here's that movie Spider Baby that I was talking about. It is super creepy and weird. Really fun though. You want to know a fun fact about House of a Thousand Corpses?
Let's hear it.
Here's the cover. Very, very classic House of a Thousand Corpses cover. That's my good friend Gino Crognoli on the cover. That's him in the movie Frankenhooker getting
Oh,
electrocuted.
no way.
Yeah. He is just a legend, makeup legend. He's been in tons of movies, but he worked on Walking Dead for years and years and years. And he's been in a boatload of movies, and he just has the best stories. He's a great dude. And, anytime you bring a guest to set, he's like, "Oh, come in the trailer. Let's show him zombie stuff." And like, he'll just bring out all the toys and let you see the cool stuff. But he's just a great dude. And yeah, he got to be he's like, they put me in makeup for like a photo shoot, and they thought it was so creepy looking that it ended up being the cover of the movie. And I was like, that
is awesome.
Yeah,
that is
really
awesome.
dope.
And his face is now enshrined, engraved into horror history.
You've seen his face many, many times. In Walking Dead, the famous walker that had the metal helmet with all the spikes sticking off of it.
Yeah.
That was him. Like he's been in every season of Walking Dead. He's one of the main zombies that like you see, but he's one of the K&B makeup effects guys, and he's just a staple. But yeah, he got to be in the cover of that. I'm always like, awesome. That's awesome. We went to an arcade in Boston with him and a bunch of the pals, and we were hanging out, and the guy working the arcade had the House of a Thousand Corpses. I was like, Gino, you got to let me do it. And he's like, I don't know, man. I was like, you got to let me do it, man. He's like, man. And I go up to him, I was like, hey, I like your shirt. He's like, yeah, man, House of a Thousand Corpses. I was like, yeah, man. Yeah, you see that guy right there, and he lost his mind. He started taking pics, he was like, "Oh, you guys, I love Walking Dead," and he took all of our pictures, and it was like, he's like, "I'm going to put it on the wall here." We were like, "This guy is loving it." That's great.
That's awesome.
Fantastic places to start. Good choices. My first pick, 1968's Night of the Living Dead.
Ooh,
not
that's
only
a good one. Wait.
Yeah, a hometown hero. George A. Romero, filming in Pittsburgh. He's not going to Hollywood. He's staying right here. He's staying in his hometown of Pittsburgh, making zombie movies. And with 1968's Night of the Living Dead, not only does he make one of the best horror movies ever made, but he invents a genre in the zombie movie. And we had seen zombies before. Yes, there was White Zombie, there was Plague of the Zombies, but they were different. They weren't like this. They weren't flesh eaters. They weren't living dead necessarily. They were usually voodoo zombies or magic zombies or curses. But this was a whole new level of terror. And it is really a genre created here on American soil, created in Pittsburgh, and just spawned my entire career is because of Night of the Living Dead. Period. And
really anyone who's done some kind of zombie work or made some kind of zombie film, it's
Yeah. So I owe a lot to that George A. Romero and that movie. So I had to put that on my list.
Yeah, this one is a great one. And again, it's like one of I think probably the most widely available horror film, because I know it's in the public domain. Every horror film has used it because of that. But again, it's a classic. It's memorable. You have amazing characters. Very in-depth characters, especially for it being about zombies. We got to talk to his daughter a few months ago, and she was awesome. Yeah, she was great. I do want to mention, though, especially it came out last week, George A. Romero's widow, Suzanne, sadly passed away last week. So we send our condolences to the family and friends of Suzanne Romero. But yeah, just an all-time. Really, you could say that about like George A. Romero's the Dead trilogy, the original Dead trilogy, because you got Night of the Living Dead, like you said, Pittsburgh, group of brother and sister go to visit their father's grave and are attacked by zombies, are basically forced in a farmhouse, or not a farmhouse, like a regular house.
Farmhouse.
Yeah, and then and madness ensues. Then you got Dawn of the Dead, which starts off as military group trying to keep things under wraps. And things go haywire. Next thing you know, them and a few other people are trapped in a mall.
That mall is shutting its doors this year. They're going to tear it down. And they had the last Days of the Dead there this year. Really good turnout, though. Look cool.
Yeah, I know Tina. I think Tina was there too from the pictures I saw, but
Oh.
which is sad that a piece of iconic horror cinema is getting.
They really tried to make it a historic landmark, but unfortunately nobody respects horror like that. Unlike us, who stand at attention and salute. Yeah, it is a bummer. It really is, and I'm sad I never got to go. There was multiple times where I was like, oh, I should go out there and do the Days of the Dead thing, and I never made it. So, womp womp. Another bucket list fail. But then, as you said, Day of the Dead, then everything's over, and like the last remaining bastion of the military is trying to run some experiments, and things go poorly because they're all angry buttheads anyway.
I actually just recently rewatched Day of the Dead.
Yeah,
great film.
It's so good. I told you the story. The drunkest I ever got was because of the main bad guy in that movie, Colonel Kurtz. What's his name? Colonel. The Colonel, the guy who gets ripped up at the end. I was at a bar. I was at a bar once, and some guy goes, we're talking about zombie movies. He goes, you know what the best headshot ever in a zombie movie was? And I was like, yeah, Day of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead. And he goes, no, Day of the Dead. And I look and I was like, holy shit, it's him. And then he made me buy him a fuck ton of tequila. And I got ruined. Me and my buddy spent way too much money. He just would not stop. And we were like, and we were destroyed. It was awful.
And Day of the Dead just got action figures. So
yeah,
you could go buy yourself an action figure. The guy that got you the most drunk you've ever been
for like $30. They're
so
expensive.
I think I sent you a picture. I got Bub, and the thing was,
you did buy it.
Yeah, I bought Bub. Let me grab it.
Yeah. Oh, Bub's the best. Oh, he salutes. Hey, yeah, there's a good old salute for you.
Yeah. So I got Bub.
Oh, look at him. Does he salute?
He can. But yeah, I got him with the Walkman and the gun, because you got to have him with the gun. But yeah, it was one of those. They had that, and then
love it.
But they had that, and then they had another zombie that looked awesome with like his jaw ripped open, and he had a crocodile with him. And I was like, I'm gonna get both of these. And then I was just thinking about it. I was like, I can get him later, the jaw dude later. I gotta get Bub. Went to the checkout, $30. I was like, oh, I'll just stick with Bub then. And even then, I probably would have just put him back, but I didn't feel like walking all the way back to the entertainment section when I had already rung up half my stuff.
Yeah, that's the problem. Once they know they got you, you're like, man, I'm not walking all the way back there. But hey, you got a cool Bub toy now. That's
yeah.
I think most of my display cases are full of that problem where you're like, oh, I don't really. Now I have buyer's remorse and I haven't even put my credit card in yet. Well, I'm here. Too far to go back now. That's hilarious. Man, yeah, those movies are so good. Hit me with another one, man.
I'm gonna go a little local for myself.
Yeah,
North Carolina. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Look at the fireworks right on the cover. So patriotic. It's great. See?
Yeah.
This is working out.
It is. So, yeah, this one came out during the Scream era of slashers, where, of course, we talked about it time and time again. Yep. 1996 comes out, and it's been every horror channel has done it. 1996, Scream comes out, breathes new life into the dying genre of slashers and revitalizes horror to new heights of popularity. And within that, we got a ton of ripoffs.
So, and I mean, Scream is as big as Friday the 13th was, or Halloween was back in the day. Like it really was a bomb in the park. And like you said, just all the spin-offs that come afterwards. I Know What You Did Last Summer. What's the one about the urban legend?
I got that.
Oh, so good. Yeah. This
Valentine.
This is probably the best of the ripoffs, I think.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah. I think so too. But again, it just oozes with America. Of course, you're at the beach, Southport, North Carolina, 4th of July. You got the town festivals. Yeah, great performances, very attractive cast. Yeah, the beach. So yeah, overall, this like I said, it's with the kind of Scream knockoffs that came out after Scream. I think this is definitely the best one. Do I think it was important enough to warrant its own legacy sequel? And I'm going to have a ton of people pissed at me for saying that. No,
it didn't even need its own sequel. It was fine as it was, but
yeah,
they're fun.
Did you see the one that came out last year?
Nah, I passed.
Yeah. Like I said, this movie has its legions of fans, the legacy sequel that came out last year, and I know they are going to drag us through the mud, but sorry, I didn't like it.
Hey, you know what? As long as it has fans, that's the thing. That's the thing. The horror genre gets people passionate, makes people salute. It makes us happy, and for that,
it makes people dox people.
We salute you. Yeah, that's what I've been working on. There you go.
Oh, dang, he can't salute.
Boo. Why would you make a toy that doesn't have enough articulation to even salute? The next one I'm going to pick.
Trick or Treat Studios.
Come on, you guys. The next one.
We still love you. We still love you guys.
Oh, yeah. They make the best stuff. The next one I'm going to pick, it has a couple different things going. First of all, very New York based. Second of all, it's a director, an American producer who is so important to the genre of horror. I'm talking about Little Shop of Horrors and its reboot musical, The Little Shop of Horrors. But we're talking about the original because of Roger Corman. Roger Corman is an American producer who, again, my career and the people who I've worked with really owe it to him because he allowed for low budget producers to get out there. He gave Gail Ann Hurd her start in the industry. He brought her up in how to be a producer. She produced The Walking Dead. And that's why I always, it's my 6 Degrees Kevin Bacon, but to Roger Corman. But yeah, Little Shop of Horrors is a movie he directed about a killer plant that drinks blood. And it is, the original's super fun, but the musical, oh my God, I love the musical. Rick Moranis and a bitch and puppet directed by Frank Oz, Miss Piggy himself. I love this movie. It is one of my all-time favorite musicals, but like puppetry, the characters, John Candy, Rick Moranis, Ellen Green, Steve Martin, come on, Jim Belushi. There's just so many great characters in this and a big talking plant. I love this movie, and it is something, with the New York of it all and all the aspects of that. In the original movie, it takes place in L.A. It takes place in the Flower District of L.A., but the remake is New York, which is freaking awesome.
I'm about to say something blasphemous, but I've never seen either movie.
Oh my goodness! Well, the original it's really good. It's kind of funny though, because in the original, let's go back to it. There's a shithead dentist who is an abusive boyfriend to the leading lady, and there's this weird moment because he likes to torture people. That's kind of he's a sadist. And in the original movie, Jack Nicholson shows up in one of his earliest roles as a man who he's a masochist. He likes to be in pain. So when the dentist is like trying to torture him, he's like, yeah, oh yeah, I love it, yeah. And the dentist is really frustrated. In the remake, Steve Martin plays the evil dentist, and it's Bill Murray in the dentist chair. And it's like, it's unbelievable. It's amazing. So, the original Jack Nicholson is the earliest as the masochist. And it's such a bizarre thing. It's way ahead of its time in that respect. It's about a guy who has a plant that talks to him. Feed me, Seymour. And then he feeds him. The music in the musical is fantastic. It's super fun. It's just a great update. And I love the show. I love everything about it. Little Shop of Horrors is a blast.
I might have to check this out now because
we got to fix that.
I have a box set that has the original. I think you and me had talked about before. We have the same box set. It's like the 50
movies. Yeah.
And it's all in like little sleeves, like little CD sleeves.
It is funny. I don't know which one you should watch first because they're so derivative of each other in interesting ways. But yeah, I love them both, and the first one's just very campy and fun, and the remake is just turned that up to 11.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to add that to my watch list.
Mm-hmm.
So for my next one, hold on, let me look up I gotta look up the slogan. I gotta really hit hard with
hit the slogan. Oh well.
Okay, my next one is actually a one, but it leads to 3 other sequels. It's not a remake. It's not a sequel. It's not based on a Japanese one. Old school American horror. Hatchet.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! that gets above. Yes. That's
and
fantastic.
It's 3 sequels.
Okay, so I have that Steelbook box set, and I've been working my way through
this one.
Yeah. It's so funny because I got it and it showed up at my house, and my kid. I come home from work, and my kid, she was like 4 at the time. She goes, "Daddy, my favorite movie came." I was like. She's like, it's my favorite movie. And I was like, I don't think you've ever seen that movie. Yeah, but it can still be my favorite. Because it'll be my favorite because I watch it with you. And I was like, that is adorable, but you're not watching Hatchet.
Not for another 10 years.
Hatchet, these movies are so fun. The second and third one aren't great, but they still have a good time. There's still a lot of great kills in them. They're still absolutely ridiculous. And I think they know what they are. So I forgive them for the parts that kind of suck. Because it's just like, they're like, yeah, we're a sequel to Hatchet. We're going to kill some people and you're going to laugh at it. Great pick, man. These are fun. Yeah, that's a real good one.
Yeah, because again, it came out in 2006, and that slogan, that's the official slogan for the movie, not a remake, not a sequel, not based on a Japanese one. And it's true, because that's really a lot of what we were getting at that time. So when someone came out, because again, this was during the torture porn and the remake craze. So this was slapped in the middle of it. So someone to come out that's just a throwback to these old, raw, ridiculously gory, over the top slashers. And you got Kane Hodder, Jason from
part
7 to Jason X himself playing the lead killer.
So cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. And it's just there to, like you said, the second one is my least favorite, but even then I still have a good time watching it. Victor Crowley, the most recent one, I actually really like that one.
I heard it was a return to form. I haven't gotten there yet, so I still need to come back around.
It's pretty much like it. I think like the problem, like with Hatchet 2 and 3, I mean, it still has a lot of campy, over the top gore, but it kind of takes itself seriously for the most part.
Yeah.
Where like Victor Crowley, it's like, no, we know we're stupid. We're just gonna make it fun again. Like,
I love that, and he knew what people were showing up for. He knew what people wanted and delivered. And I love the first one quite a bit. That one is absolutely pretty top notch for what it is, and just feels like one of those classics, like Madman, or like it really does feel like a old sort of grindy classic. That's great.
So yeah, we got to give a salute to your daughter's future
favorite movie. I love it. What's the next one? Ooh, 1992's Candyman. That's on my list.
Oh, beautiful. I have the 4K. I don't feel like getting back up to get that one too. But I do have.
Make you do your squats today. Just up and down, up and down, up and down.
I do have the poster by Mad Duck Posters. And you got, to me, the greatest horror icon of all time, Tony Todd, in it.
100%. Tony Todd is just an icon. America's such an interesting country, and we're not an old enough country to have some of the amazing like legends that we have for like when you talk about like the ghosts of England or the folklore of Japan or Norse mythology, Greek mythology. I mean, they've had monster stories for centuries, millennia. But America's a little baby country. So our sort of darkest moments, where we find some of these really spooky legends, the some of the saddest parts of our history make for the best horror, and Candyman really leans into that in an amazing way. And urban legends takes place in Chicago. Is seriously one of the most interesting takes on a horror movie because it took itself very seriously. Its later sequels were just very slasher, very straightforward, just not very good. But then the reboot again.
I was going to say the 2021 sequel was really good. But yeah, Candyman, the original, is in my top 5 favorite films of all time. Wonderful film. I actually got to see it for the first time in theaters.
Really?
Back last year for Halloween, because I mentioned on the show before, AMC last year, each week for the month of October on Wednesday, they put out an old horror film to the re-show. And the first week it was Nightmare on Elm Street, which was amazing on the big screen. And then it was like next week it's Candyman. And again, one of my favorite films ever. I was like, I'm not missing this. And what an experience on the big screen. It's the soundtrack, the presence of Tony Todd, this tall man, like physically imposing man playing a horror villain, but yet somewhat sympathetic. You feel somewhat sympathetic for him. And it's just, you couldn't have gotten anyone else to play him. Like, he was just perfect. It's
just one of those movies that hit all the right cylinders. And I love the story about they had a bee sting clause. He's like, I get an extra like $7,000 every time I get stung by a bee. And they're like, holy cow, how'd that work out? He's like, I made about 30 grand. It was like, whoa, nice. Yeah. He was like, I'm not messing around. I don't care what you say. If I get stung by a bee, I get paid. And I love that. It's phenomenal.
I forgot how many times he said he has been stung throughout the 3 films where he was the lead in, because I know he appears in a cameo in the 2021 version. But yeah, like through the 3 films, I forgot how many times he said he's gotten a bee sting. Like, yeah, that must suck.
I mean, he lets them crawl all over. The shot where they're coming out of his mouth and it's actually him is terrifying to me. That just gives you the heebie-jeebies. I don't care who you are. It's a really good one. But New York and our big cities. When you think about how cities came to be and like what it was like early days, when you read a book like Devil in the White City or The Alienist or something like that, and you're like, man, cities suck. And then like Chicago's built on the bones of all this like carnage and horror and stuff. And big cities have ghosts in their sewers and closet and buried beneath them. So Candyman is just a reminder of that. And I wish we had more movies that were that good. But still like touching sort of, urban legends and myths and sort of dealing with, inner city horror that isn't like cheesy. Cause they easily lean into something kind of goofy. Tales from the Hood, which is fun, but
to me, it's like the perfect horror film. The performances, the setting, the atmosphere, the music is just all wonderfully meshed together into this amazing film. So I think for my next one, I feel like chewing some bubble gum, kicking ass.
Oh yeah. Heck yeah.
They Live. John Carpenter's They Live, starring Canadian professional wrestler Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Roddy Piper. Put on the fucking glasses. What a fun one, man. This one's great. I love the aliens in this. They're so creepy looking. for those of you who haven't seen this movie, what are you doing? Rowdy Piper comes to LA and finds that there's an evil conspiracy by aliens to control our world by making us consumers obey. And
basically, the aliens are the elite.
yeah. And he gets a hold of some glasses, and when you put them on, you can see the aliens, and you get to see that all the billboards say obey, buy, consume. And you're like, whoa, a real takedown of modern media. But like this movie, as it gets older, it ages so well because it's super cheesy. It is the inspiration for Duke Nukem. It's the inspiration for Shepard Fairey, who one of the greatest street artists of all time. The Obey posters. Anytime you've seen the brand Obey, that's what this comes from. Just great stuff. Yeah, this one's super fun.
And it gets more relevant as the years go on too, which is crazy. A 40-year-old movie is just still
yeah, it is. It's wild how they kind of nailed it, and how like there's times though when like I see such a shitty commercial and you're just you just feel the obey, consume, like you can see through it. You can almost feel like you're like, oh no, I can see the aliens. It's happening, man. And TikTok. Who, right? Because like some of it's a fun little video, and then some of it's like just all it's trying to do, all social media is trying to do is to get ideas in your head to make you want to feel a certain way towards something, for something, or buy something. And so it just hits you in waves. And the thing about the psyop of social media is they just think that in between, the more content there is, the more content you consume, the more that message will get downloaded into your brain. And some people think it's working.
I mean, here's the thing too, like really back when streaming became a big thing with, when it was Netflix, like the whole thing about it was people were like, we can cut cable. We're tired of seeing all these commercials with cable and everything. Mm-hmm. And so we can just get Netflix and these streaming services that don't have ads, pay $10 a month for them. I mean, look what's happened. They've added these tiers where if you pay the lowest amount, you're going to get flooded with ads. But if you pay like $35 a month, you can watch it ad free.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, why the fuck would I want to pay $35 a month for the streaming service that I maybe turn on twice a month? I'll just do it. I mean, even like with like me as a wrestling fan, it's just like since WWE got bought out like by a corporate entity, it's crazy because like the pay-per-views, you wouldn't do that. I mean, they'd have a little product placement, but now it's like ads, and it's like
nonstop.
This like WrestleMania last year, that was like my biggest problem. It was just ads, and then it was like out of place product placement. Like there'd be like this blood feud, two wrestlers hate each other, like they show a promo package like, I fucking hate you, we're gonna battle it out in the ring, and then it's like, this match brought to you by Dude Wipes, like
Manscaped, and you're like squat.
Yeah, because when I think of two guys who absolutely hate each other and despise each other, I think of Manscaped and shaving my balls. Or I think of Dude Wipes and wiping my ass. Like,
right? I always love it when it's like you're watching something like that and like brought to you by boner pills, and you're like, this is not what I want to be thinking about when I'm about to watch these guys kick each other's asses. You're really killing the mood, or maybe you're enhancing the mood. I can't tell anymore. Thanks, Pfizer. Yeah, they oh man, yeah, advertising drives me absolutely nuts. And for a minute, we almost beat them, you guys. We were this close. Oh man, well,
so close.
Here's my next one. It's another like dark era of humanity of the United States, but it's an interesting movie nonetheless. Herschel Gordon Lewis, the godfather of gore. I'm talking about 2000 Maniacs. This is his film. It is. I always argue that it's the closest to like an American Midsummer. It's the same plot. It's a group of people go to a waylaid town in the middle of nowhere in the deep South, and it's a bunch of like Confederates who haven't let it die, and they get kidnapped and tortured to death, and it's gnarly, real gnarly, but it's the same thing we've seen in like Midsummer or like the Burning Man or whatever, Wicker Man. It's this idea of like people who won't let old ways go, and it leads to more enlightened people's deaths. And I think it is it's a trashy movie, but it's actually like its concepts pretty ahead of its time. It's one of the ones that they kind of remade it with 2001 Maniacs with Robert Englund, and they made it they made it even worse. But it's like, man, there's something to this that we've kind of missed out on. But I really enjoy this film for its ideas less than what it shows, because like I said, it is sleazy and it's Herschel Gordon Lewis, so it's just early TNA and gore for the sake of it. But as far as like all American horror goes, it is right up there.
Yeah, I actually watched this one in prep, and we didn't get to talk about it, but I actually watched it in prep for our Grindhouse Cinema episode.
Oh, awesome, right? But you get what I'm saying, right? Like it's super Americana in a weird way.
Yeah, backwoods, rural country.
Mm-hmm.
A group of people get lost and end up in this town that's stuck in Confederate America.
Yeah.
And it just goes bad for them. Then they escape. And that's the thing, for spoiler ahead for a 65-year-old movie. But, but I mean, it turns out like the town wasn't there. It was the ghosts that show up every so often.
Yeah.
Like that's the crazy part.
What a twist.
What's a twist?
It's good though. I got two more. What do you got?
I'm gonna go with Jaws, the quintessential July 4th movie, which, by the way, Aaron, I think I told you this. And to those who have theaters that partner with Flashback Cinema, which is a company that most partners with small regional chains and locally owned theaters to show your favorite classics, this weekend they will be showing Jaws on the big screen.
Heck yeah, go see it. And then go eat too many hot dogs and don't blow your fingers off.
But yeah, this one is just great. Yeah, family at the beach. Things go wrong. Sharks, got government cover-ups because they don't want to ruin the July 4th business. Then you have a group of people going out trying to hunt the shark. Just an absolutely incredible film. Just to me, not just quintessential July 4th watch, but just a quintessential horror watch.
So, you know, it's really interesting. They revealed this year. This guy went and tracked it down. He was looking at the original Jaws poster, you know, the really famous cover, the shark coming up. And he was like, where did this come from? You know, and he got into it and he found out that the original poster artist, why am I blanking on his name? Oh my gosh, I feel like a jackass. But he had been spending a lot of time at the American Museum of Natural History. Heck yeah, America. And so he went and asked, and they're like, oh yeah, he checked out a shark specimen. And they pulled it out, and they still have it. I'm about to show you guys a dead shark. So here we go. That is the actual shark head used to draw the poster of Jaws. And it's actually a Mako. It wasn't a great white.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
That's freaking awesome. That not only does that still exist in formaldehyde in the American Museum of Natural History, but that they tracked it down and found it, and even still has like the messed up teeth. I love that. That's so cool to me.
Yeah, I knew. I read somewhere where they said it was not a great white. So that's just incredible, and it's just one of those instantly recognizable posters. I mean, it's been parodied
Roger
so many times.
That's the guy. Roger Castle was the famously the guy who did the Jaws poster, and he did Empire Strikes Back.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah,
very iconic posters.
Oh, he's one of the best. I apologize, Roger, for whiffing your name, but yeah, Jaws is the best summer movie. Yeah, I mean, it is not the summer until I've watched Jaws at least once. I love this movie.
Yeah. And if you get a chance to ever see it on the big screen, I highly recommend it. It's absolutely incredible. I watched it last year when they re-released it for its 50th.
That's awesome. Love it. All right. This is the last movie on my list. And I would argue that is probably one of the most quintessential American horror films. We're talking about 1974, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Heck yeah. Now, on first time watching this, I was like, man, this movie's real low budget. And man, there's not a lot of blood in this movie. And man, they're just screaming the whole time and nothing really happens. I was so wrong. I was so wrong about Texas Chainsaw Massacre because the more I watched it and the more I read about it, the more I looked into it, it is such an interesting slice of America. And my brother and I got into a really deep discussion about it once, and he said this. The first hitchhiker, he said he was in the Army, and he came back, and people didn't treat him well. And when you watch a movie like Rambo, and this is just on the heels of the Vietnam War, American soldiers were coming back, and America was kicking them to the curb. They weren't getting the health benefits they were promised. They were injured. They weren't getting help. They weren't getting their housing checks that they were supposed to get. America, the government and America turned their backs on all the people who served for them. Regardless of whether the war is good or not, you said you were going to do something, you got to follow through. That's integrity. America. Texas Chainsaw Massacre takes that and turns it into a monster where the people who are holding on to these family values and the true, like, taking care of each other are nightmare murderous cannibals who wear human flesh, but they're the ones who are being the most American. And these kids, the ones who stumble into the traps, are the ones who sort of like betray that because they won't even help her brother who's in a wheelchair. And it's just talking about how we turn our backs on the disabled, the elderly. You know, the family is still taking care of elderly grandpa. Go get grandpa. Let him hit him with the hammer.
They have their dead, decaying grandmother still in there taking care of her, right? In the attic.
Like they are displaying real American values, even though they're cannibalizing people and killing hitchhikers. But it's like that blew my mind. You're like, he's like, no, they take care of the elderly. They take care of each other. They took care of their disabled son when he came home. They didn't kick him to the curb. Whereas these people, man, they got their brother in a wheelchair and he's just a nuisance to them, even though he's one of the most annoying characters in cinema. Come on, Franklin's great. It's wild. It really opened my eyes to how actually interesting this movie is.
Dead Meat has a great podcast episode about this.
Yeah.
And Chelsea made a great point. She was just like, you know, when you look at the history of horror, like during the Universal monster era, it was monsters, and mostly it was never hardly ever American actors playing the monsters. It was usually like Eastern European, like Karloff, Lugosi, you know, people with names like that. Then the 50s, it was like alien invasion, nuclear disaster. Then
atomic horror. Yeah, we were afraid of the atom bomb. Yeah.
And people had this like Leave It to Beaver image of America. White picket fences, everything's perfect, everything's happy, everyone's all giddy. But Vietnam kind of exposed the kind of seedy underbelly of America, showing that, you know, the government does some shady shit. And it's one of those, I think she said it perfectly represents, because it's really like the first time where the killers of the movie are your all-American family. They're not the people in the white picket fences. They're the ones killing people. And it just takes kind of what we like, this seedy underbelly of America that was exposed, and just kind of puts it into this film.
Yeah. I mean, and it plays on rural fears. I mean, I've run out of gas in the middle of Texas. I'll tell this story in a second, but before that, I want to say 1974, nobody had seen anything like this. This is absolutely one of those insane films to get like sort of a dream sort of like nod. Like people were suddenly like, oh shit, it was violent, it was brutal, it was bleak. And you had a killer wearing a mask, which, you know, Halloween was the first to do it. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre is like, holy cow, you know. Well, Halloween's the first to put it in that context, but like this really is one of the first slashers in that sense, and it really does stand out in being a landmark blueprint for horror to come.
If Halloween was the father of slashers, Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Black Christmas, even though that's not American, that's Canadian. Well, it's, you know, they were the grandfathers of the slashers. They are the one that set the example that Halloween led by.
And Halloween comes out 4 years later. So like, you know, but this is the first time we see a killer put on a mask and hack people up. And it's brutal. We don't get this brutal again for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would even go as far as saying Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Quite an American film. Because again, where Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, like you said, deals on the fears of rural America, kind of what happens when America gives up on its people. Mm-hmm. I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 really represents kind of the Reagan era, because it's, you know, this time it's in the big city that's been gentrified and fancied up, you know, big buildings, the yuppies, you know, the yuppies at the beginning.
Yuppies. It's very true. My buddy that I showed you from House of a Thousand Corpses, he worked on that movie. He has a great story about the first time he ever met Tom Savini. He said he was so hungover, and they get in the van to go to set, and he throws up in the
van. Hey, should we send an open invite to him?
I'll have Gino on. He'd be a great guest. He's really fun. Yeah, like I said, that guy has the best stories. But yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre for me is one of just the pinnacles of horror and the pinnacles of American cinema. And for that, you get a bub. I think Bub's going to make a continual appearance. I love this GIF, this PNG, not a GIF. Yeah, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the first two are solid. They get weird after that. Real weird. And the remake, look, I love the remake, and I have the hot take that I think the remake is a better film than the original, but not more influential and not as game-changing. But like polished, can't argue that. But I love the remake. I do.
I've heard so many people said they prefer the remake over the original. Don't get me wrong. I get it. It is a more polished Hollywood production. And it did kind of kick off like where, again, with like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, this shocked audiences in 1974. They hadn't seen this kind of grittiness and realness in a film like this, where I would argue the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, like we really hadn't seen that kind of American audiences. At least they were doing that shit in France like for years. We could probably talk about the new French extremity movement. That'd be a whole episode within itself. But
we need to do that. We need to do the French extreme. We have not done that yet, and it's high time we bit the bullet, gritted our teeth, rolled up our sleeves, and got French.
But I would argue with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, like American audience hadn't really seen that kind of brutality and on-screen gore on screen. Like, and it's just so bleak and all American film, the best all American film.
Absolutely. There's so many good ones that we haven't talked about that I'd love to get into. My Texas story. Okay. So we used to drive from Indiana to LA when I was going to school out there. And when I moved out there, my dad and I took a road trip, and we're driving out there. And the panhandle of Texas is huge. It's a giant stretch of nothing. And we were like, well, we should fill up on gas. And we didn't. And we're driving through, and it's late. And our car starts running out of gas, and I look out in the distance and I say, hey, look, there's a gas station. I see a Shell station. And we pull off the highway, and there's a burnt down church and this Shell station. And I'm like, this is weird. And so we go inside, and I'm looking around, and this is like 2002, and everything in there is branded for the Nagano Olympics, which were like 1996 maybe. And you're like, oh no. And then this guy goes, you boys are trespassing. And we're like, oh shit. My dad goes, we need some gas. He goes, this here's my gas, but I'll sell you some. And we were like, oh God.
Yes, that's how a gas station works.
It's not a gas station. He's squatting in this gas station, and there's chickens running around in there. Basically, whatever this town was is no more. It was like they're like, we're gonna build this gas station, we're gonna build this other stuff, and they didn't, but they did build the gas station. And when they pulled up and left, this guy just kept the tank of gas, and he's just living in this gas station. And we were like, what? And doesn't take credit card, only takes cash. Thank God we had a couple bucks on us, but we didn't have enough to fill the tank up. So we got enough, and I was like, oh my God, I hope this gets us to the next gas station. Sure enough, it did. But it was one of those harrowing moments where you're like, oh no. Like you can hear the banjo, if somebody had sparked up a chainsaw, I would have lost it. But yeah, that's my Texas chainsaw. The moment where I'm like, oh, it is real. This could actually happen.
That sounds like something you're way too familiar with Walking Dead. Like that sounds like a scene out of Walking Dead.
It's surreal. But look, like whenever my dad and I had road trips, like we always had a moment that was like just surreal like that. Where you're like, this isn't actually happening right now, is it? Oh yeah, it is. Wow, this is a effing nightmare. Real weird. We've had some real weird ones, but that was my Texas story.
I would have shat my pants.
Yeah, it was crazy. So yeah, there we go. Super fun, guys. Let us know what's your All-American. What is your like 4th of July weekend? Gotta watch it. You one of those people who likes that Uncle Sam movie. It's terrible, but hey, could be fun. There's so many good ones, man. America has made some really, really good horror movies. So do yourself a favor this weekend, in between setting stuff on fire and pounding some glizzies. I'm watching the Nathan's Hot Dog eating competition. Woo, yeah. One of my favorite things. So it's so gross. Don't watch it with the sound on. It's disgusting. But pretty exciting. We got to give away some blood coin. Let's see. What is the word? What should the word be today?
America.
America. Fuck yeah. Oh, yeah, I spelled it right. There it is.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh, open up, go to Discord, open up a ticket, type in the word America, and get you some blood coin. It's patriotic. Do your duty. Pretty awesome. I didn't want to take more time. Remind me one day. I will show you my Muppets Texas Chainsaw Massacre crossover that I drew.
Ooh.
In my other show, the Launchpad Podcast, we did an experiment where we called it the Muppet Movie, and you would take a movie, keep one human from the movie, and then all the rest of the characters are Muppets. And we would discuss what these movies were. And I did Texas Chainsaw Massacre, keep the final girl, and everybody else is was
it Fozzie as Leatherface?
Oh man, I don't remember. It's like Gonzo was the hitchhiker. Because and like the chickens, I had the chickens popping up. Swedish Chef was Leatherface, I believe, and then Statler and Waldorf were the old grandpa man, and like I did this amazing photoshopped, and it's the moment where she wakes up at the dinner table, and it's that point of view of all the Muppets like like looking at her, and the human head lampshade was Miss Piggy's head, which is like so funny to me. Like, oh man, I gotta dig it out and we'll find it, this is the photo that I did it of, but we'll pull that out in a future episode, and we'll do the
oh hell yeah.
Yeah. The dad was Sam the Eagle. Just so random, but really fun. But yeah, that was a fun episode and exercise. Speaking of which, it's July 4th now at the end of the month. San Diego Comic-Con. I'm going to be in San Diego at the Big Dance. It's the biggest nerd show on the planet. International Comic-Con in San Diego. And I have 2 panels. And one of them is Ghostface Killer Trivia, where the voice of Ghostface himself, Roger L. Jackson, calls in and reads amazing horror trivia, and then we give away prizes, which is super fun. We have a blast every year, and then we're also doing a Terrible Toys episode with a toy designer from NECA, which is going to be super exciting. So yeah, if you're in San Diego, if you're going to the show, hit me up. Come see my stuff. Come say hi. Let me know you're a fan of this show too. What else do we got? Is that all? Did I forget anything? You follow this. Follow all the Block of Horrors. All the socials
and Discord. Join the Discord and go to the Block of Horror virtual world at blockofhorror.com. And we got Blocktoberfest coming up in a few months, so keep an eye out for some cool stuff for that.
Definitely. And where people follow you?
You can follow me at OheyIt'sChase on Instagram and Letterboxd, and see me here every Saturday with you, Aaron, on the Half Hour Horror.
Oh yeah.
And if you're in the San Diego Comic-Con, San Diego area, it's not called San Diego Comic-Con, the town, but if you're in the San Diego area, I got tongue tied. Go see Aaron at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah, get you some. There's only one thing left we got to do. So